So how did prehistoric Native Americans 13,500 years ago bring down this using nothing but that? Let's get into it. This is a technology known as a Clovis point, basically an arrowhead that's a specific design. If you look at it, it has a flute right down the middle of the arrowhead, right there. That flute is the designing characteristic behind this technology. This arrowhead is all that remains from an entire hunting and gathering system that no longer exists. It's a system known as the Atlatl, basically a spear thrower. You're using a tool like this to hurl a spear through the air using the principles of leverage. So if you were to take a spear that had this Clovis point technology on the end and throw it with your arm, you could only throw that so far, so fast, and so hard because your arm is limited to the amount of power and strength that it has. However, when you add this to it, you are adding a tool. You are creating a hunting and gathering system, the very first system that prehistoric man ever came up with. This system was principally used in North America until about 2,500 years ago, when it was later replaced with the bow and arrow. Before then, this is the primary technology to hunt and gather. You're basically taking the Atlatl like that. Once you get it hooked onto the spear like that, you'll rest it on the top of the Atlatl. You will pinch and pull back. By pinching and pulling back, you are holding that arrow in place. You are then hurling that arrow with the aid of leverage of your arm to send it further, faster, and harder than you can throw with your arm. But still, how can this take down this? And it's in the design of the Atlatl. So this arrowhead is sharp all the way on all sides. Do we remember that groove in the middle? The primary groove that was designed just in the Clovis and Folsom period? That groove, you take it and you put your shaft on the middle of it. What that does is that leaves a full exposure of a really sharp surface, so that when that enters into the animal, you have just put a giant knife inside that animal. As that animal takes off, you have got 6 feet of a spear sticking out. And as that animal runs, it is moving up and down and tearing a huge hole inside that animal, allowing it to bleed to death. That is primarily how this can take down this. Back in the 1980s in Kenya, a man was allowed to hunt an African elephant with this system. He put 2 darts in the animal, and within less than 500 yards, the animal dropped, therefore proving that it was possible to take down a mammoth or an elephant with this weapon system. But just think about it rationally, all right? If you're running up, first off, who are you going to run up to a mammoth that's 13 feet tall and start poking it with a stick? That's not going to happen. I mean, you may try and then get trampled, but that's not going to happen. But that's the classic imagery that we have in all of our textbooks when we were growing up, is a bunch of hunters and gatherers surrounding a mammoth and jabbing it with a stick. That is incorrect. They were using this system to hunt and gather called the Atlatl, where they were hurling the spear through the air with the Atlatl and bringing the animal down that way. And that is how, in prehistoric Native America, they were able to bring down woolly mammoths, Columbian mammoths, mastodons with nothing but this small arrowhead right here. Is that not freaking cool? Remember, guys, history rocks.